This entire podcast, I use it actually to spread the word, let you know you're not alone, there's nothing shameful going on, and that there is actually help. And that helps work faster than just in 20 years in some talk therapy. Because this is what many of women and men, by the way, who come to me to ask for help, that's what many of them are telling me. They have already done some sort of therapy, or they have been avoiding going into therapy because they're feeling like, what the heck, there's no point digging up in my past. I had a happy childhood. Either two cases, yes. First of them is, I had a happy childhood, like me. Nothing to complain about, no drama, no shocks, nothing horrific, terrifying, damaging, horribly monstrous happening. I had a happy childhood. I just had a yelling mom, but who didn't? So it's okay. I don't need any therapy. That's one. One case. Second typical scenario is for people who they did have something hurtful, really hurtful happening in the past. So it was recommended to them to go and start doing some counseling, talk therapy. But after years and very often, even decades of doing talk therapy, they end up somehow still in my mommy tantrum training. Or daddy tantrum training, where I explained that the fact that you keep yelling at your kids and you cannot control your anger, it's actually linked to your past. And they're like, what? It cannot be. I already did so much therapy. Well, yeah, this is why. So then they're very skeptical because they're like, no, I already did. I did so many years. It didn't help me. Why do you think that you can help me? How is this different? And no, I don't trust you. And no, there's no point in opening up these old wounds because I already did that in my talk therapy. And it only made me feel, all of that pain again. And I just like, why would I? This is complete nonsense to go back to the past, reopen all those old wounds so that I can feel all that pain again. And then again, I will have no help with that. Of course, I'm not going to do that. No. So this is what I want to talk to you in this podcast episode today, because it's completely normal. Both of these scenarios, these situations, like I have no trauma, or yes, I have some pain, but it didn't help. Not going to help this time either. And so like, shut down. So, I want to talk to you because I want you to know it's completely normal. And I want to take you through the process that we are doing, like step by step, so that hopefully by you getting more like transparent, direct view into what would happen and how, that you would feel in control and you would feel safer, and it would give you the courage to go and take these steps, okay? Because what is the risk if you keep running your life like this? If you keep looking for parenting scripts and strategies to manipulate your kids into obedience so that you wouldn't have to yell, you don't have to scare them, but maybe like some positive rewards and gentle parenting in terms of you still being the people pleaser with no boundaries and bending backwards, just not have to yell, and then your kids becoming basically narcissistic spoiled brats who will abuse that. Like, none of that works, okay? And that's the cost, that's the risk you're running. If you are refusing to get the help because you're scared, because you're not trusting, because you have all of these skeptical, logical voices in your head telling you, no, it's too good to be true that you could help me in 3 months and blah, 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 then what is the cost you're going to pay for it? And I don't wish you any of that, but this is usually what I hear from people who were on my mommy tantrum training a year ago. I just received another message a few days ago from a mom who was on my training 1 year ago. And for whatever reason, she didn't tell me. She was just like, okay, that's where it stopped for her. But now she's coming back, signing up for the training again. And I'm like, please help me help you. What's going on this time? Please tell me. Because obviously, whatever you tried to do in the last year, you just wasted 1 year of your time. And I don't blame you for anything. I don't judge you for anything. But I can't help you unless you tell me what's going on. Okay? And that's the risk you're taking. If you say like, I'm too scared to reach out and get the help, and I don't want to look in my past, I don't want to see like what it has to do with me, let me just do some parenting scripts and parenting theories and courses and books, and that will help me. Good luck. No. And I explained that in the mommy tantrum training. So this is actually the first place where I would refer you to. If you're totally new to me, Or even if you've been listening, I have people who have been binging my podcast, but they have never signed up for the Mommy Tantrum training. So please, we are going to link the training registration for you. It's free, by the way. You're welcome. So that you get the first step. This is the first step, and this is how the training goes, just so that you feel safe. It's a Zoom training. I usually ask people to engage with me through chat so that I can get their feedback and questions, so that I can adapt and customize the training for them so that I answer their questions. If you're totally introvert, totally shy, you don't want to speak up on the training, you don't want to type in anything in the chat, you don't have to do that. You can be the fly on the wall. But I do encourage everybody to be live, because this is, if you ask me questions, that's the best way how I can respond, right? If otherwise you have to wait there and sit for somebody else to ask your question so that you get the help, right? You get the answer. But it's a safe place, even for introverts, okay? You will not be on the camera. Nobody will ever see you on any recording online. So you are safe. Your anonymity is protected. Your data is private. So all of that is fine, okay? But the first step for you to find out, if you don't know yet where your uncontrollable anger, frustration, resentment, 100 times repeating nicely and being too nice and too soft with the kids for the fear of making any drama, if you have no idea where that comes from, the first place to start with is this Mommy Tantrum training. Then what happens next? At the end of the free training, I'm offering, again, free step. And that step is one-on-one. I'm giving away my free time, because that's what I love the most about my work. I help people connect the dots. I often have women who have done years, if not decades, of talk therapy. They come to me for this assessment call and they're like, okay, finally, now I get it. Yeah, they tell me it gave them more than 2-3 years in therapy. Just the assessment call with me, just the first 5-10 minutes now just to let you know what I'm doing in the assessment call so that you feel safe. What I do for women who come to me and they ask me, can you help me connect the dots? Where is my anger coming from? Because I'm yelling at my kids, but for example, my mom never yelled at me. Or, yes, I'm yelling because my mom was yelling, but the situation is different. I read so many parenting books. I'm a mindfulness teacher, meditation teacher. Like, why do I still keep doing that? Or there are women who tell me, I have a blank memory. I don't remember anything about my childhood before I was at least like 10, 11 years old. I have no idea what happened. So those are many different various scenarios. Those are the people who show up for the assessment call. And what I do is that I help them connect the dots. I help them uncover what is the root of their anger, frustration, not feeling heard, not feeling respected, feeling powerless and out of control when the kids trigger them now. I help them understand how that actually links to their past, which on its own is really, normally you would get charged for it in thousands because in a talk therapy, it would take you years to make a one-on-one link. I do that in a few minutes. That's why I trained so much. That's why I'm so passionate about this. It's one of my strengths. And I did get trained a lot in it to be able to do it so fast. Okay. So that's what I love about it. And this is usually the biggest value that people walk away with from the assessment call, no matter what follows afterwards. Okay. So this is what I do for everybody who wants that. I help them connect the dots so that they understand why it's freaking impossible to control their emotions with their logical brain. Why, even though they wake up every morning wishing and promising to themselves and their kids that they will be a calm, nice, gentle mom, sooner or later they lose it anyways. How come? I help them make the link and realize why, so that they understand why. Okay? If that's where they want to finish, if that's all they needed from the assessment call, fine. Usually what many of them want to do next is they want to hear more about the Zen Supermom or Zen Super Dad program, okay? Because this is how we help people make it happen. Because as you will hear me talk about in the Mommy Tantrum training, trauma healing is not a DIY. And the reason why you cannot manage your emotions is because something like trauma happened to you in your childhood. Even though you had a happy childhood like me, there are different kinds of traumas. You will hear me talk about it. Okay? So when they realize that, and especially after they've done some talk therapy and they know that doesn't work, and they realize they do need help, because if they don't get help, then the trauma will just get over to their kids. So then their kids will grow up feeling not good enough, feeling yelled at, not worthy of mom's love, and feeling responsible for mommy being angry, and learning how to tiptoe around people with big emotions and avoiding conflict. So they don't want their kids to go through all of that. So they know they need help. So then in the next step of the assessment call with people who are interested, what I do is that I tell them how exactly we make that happen inside the program.